One Piece World Seeker censored by PlayStation 4. Yes, the Sony console strikes again with yet another piece of content that can be perceived as enjoyable by the male mind being censored and removed from the Western audience's reach. Of course, I'm your perfect being here with the Dragon Hour, and we have to discuss the tragedy with One Piece World Seeker. Now, I'm going to say this: if you have a Nintendo Switch and you pre-ordered the game, you can still experience this piece of content. However, if you're on Steam or PlayStation 4, this content has been removed and gated by Sony in Hollywood, California. And I say Sony in Hollywood, California because Sony in Japan does not care. They're not the ones responsible for this. This is purely the Hollywood, California branch of Sony that is participating in these SJW tactics of restricting content that might be perceived as enjoyable by the male audience. Now, what is the piece of content in question? There was a mission in One Piece World Seeker where Luffy could participate in a mission with all the female characters of One Piece in their swimsuits in some hot springs. Now, I'm going to say this is not a hot coffee mod. Luffy's not stretching into action here and doing anything lewd. It's just that these female characters were in swimsuits and they were participating in a sword battle against Luffy in some hot springs. This was up so hot that Sony had to remove it from our reach and protect our innocent little eyes. Now, I'm getting tired of this trend of Sony censoring anything that could be perceived as enjoyable by men, because you notice that when we talk about censorship, we never talk about big hulking men with hot sweaty bodies being covered up and shirts being put on them and them covering anything that could be perceived as arousing to the female view. Well, we don't censor that, but anytime there's a big busty female character, which is abundant in the One Piece genre, that has to be covered up, censored, and we have to protect our community from sexuality, right? I'm getting tired of that. I'm getting tired of that double standard. I'm getting tired of the hypocrisy. If we're gonna censor sexuality from games, let's cover up the men too. Kazuya, Ryu, Jin, they all better be wearing shirts, and you better not be able to see a ripple of muscle in any of their scenes. I'm just saying, we have to fight back. And the reason that we don't have a vocal male audience that's against men being shown as sexual in games is because honestly, we don't care. If we look at a guy with muscles and stuff like that, guess what? That makes us want to go hit the gym and rise to the occasion and get our weight up. But then when you look at the female audience's response, oh no, she's hotter than me. This is why I can't get a boyfriend. This is why I can't get married. Well, I don't know what. I'll write an angry letter to Sony and make them remove all the big busty women. That'll get me a boyfriend. Fat. No, you're alienating men, because we are connecting the dots and we're saying women are whining and moaning, women are ruining gaming, because before we had all this female influence, and this reeks of Anita Sarkeesian. This reeks of her touch, where only things that could be enjoyable to the male mind are being restricted. You notice that lesbian kiss in The Last of Us 2 wasn't restricted or removed. That was maintained because that's not interesting to men. I mean, especially lesbians who look like that. This is not your... I'll stop before we get demonetized. But my point being is that the hypocrisy and the bias and the double standards have to stop. If we're gonna censor sexuality from games, let's censor it all. And I'm getting tired of this aggression against the nipple, but nothing against the bullet. So yeah, we're talking nipple versus bullet here. So I think we can all agree titties and ass never hurt anybody in real life. I don't think that's ever happened. But Sony won't touch the violent games that make them money. You see them promoting Mortal Kombat, which is extremely violent. You see them promoting GTA, which is extremely violent. You see them promoting Battlefield 5 and things with weapons in the game, and those are violent. Now, their defense is going to be that, well, they're mature rated, we can't censor them, artistic integrity, Well, you look at the games that contain the female nudity, or the female, I won't even say nudity, but the female revealing shots, and those are rated mature or teen rated. So why are you censoring those? And the only reason, because don't think that I'm against violence in games. I like my violence in games. I'm just showing you that they'll keep making money from the violence in games because they need that money. But because they're SJWs, they'll censor the sexuality that can be enjoyed by men from their games, and that's nothing but politically driven movements. I'm tired of it. It's getting sickening, and we as the gaming community, I feel like we do need a vocal audience that counterbalance the removal of female content in gaming. Like, I feel like I would love to see a group of men complain about, well, this guy's too hot, let's cover him up and remove him. And if we removed all sexuality from games, then everyone would equally be hurt, and that's the only way that everything would come back. You get what I'm saying? I'll expand upon this in a future video, but that's been the news update as it concerns One Piece World Seeker, the removal of fan service and content. Let me know what you think in the comment section below about what's been said here today. Of course, I've been your perfect being and the #1 anime gaming and Dragon Ball and journalist on YouTube, of course the name being Perfection, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.